I think I had to rely on about that visibly. I mean, by my visual impression that I'm putting it on the right side, not the upturned side. And I would also like to corroborate with Dr. Mahesh that later on I learned that if I have to put PFCL while harvesting the graft, I'll have to put it full on, full on PFCL, no partial PFCL. Number one. Number two, while I'm harvesting the graft with my cutter, a significant amount of PFCL gets absorbed, gets sucked by the cutter itself. So if you have a little less PFCL, that will get even lesser and lesser once you are turning your cutter all around. So PFCL has to be more than adequate.
Very excellent video. And it takes a lot of guts to show a video with so many problems. So I must congratulate you on that as well.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. So I think we'll move on and I'll present my case on optic disc pit with maculopathy. I hope you are able to see my screen.
Yes.
Can you see the screen?
Not your slides though, something.
Yeah, we can just see your folder, but the video is not there.
Shows video folder.
Yeah, now it's there.
Now it's there.
Yeah, so this is a case of a recurrent optic pit with maculopathy. So it's about a 30-year-old girl who presented to us with optic disc pit with maculocytosis, no history of trauma. Anterior segment examination was within normal limits. And on fundus examination, she had this optic pit with maculocytosis. This is the OCT finding. And then she underwent a conventional treatment of double peel where one flap of the ILM goes over the optic pit associated with a small remnant of the ILM which goes over the fovea so as to prevent macular hole formation. If you try to remove the ILM completely, there is always a risk that a macular hole may form in these thinned out foveas. So the second flap goes over the fovea. The first flap has already gone over the optic pit. Then it is along with that, I did a papillary laser treatment, and this is the post-operative picture. And a few months later, after primary surgery, she again came back with a recurrence of a huge optic pit obviously the macular edema was much more than the first case. So this time we decided to do an amniotic membrane graft so as to plug the optic disc pit. So this is the video which demonstrates the amniotic membrane grafting being done. This is the intraoperative OCT which confirms the the optic disc pit with maculocytosis. You can also see over the fovea the previous remnants of the ILM, the inverted flap. So we decided to go ahead with this patient with an amniotic membrane graft. We harvested about a 3 millimeters graft because the optic pit size itself is quite big. It was stained with the brilliant blue dye so that once we enter inside, it becomes easy to manipulate the graft in the optic pit. So it was placed over the optic pit and then slowly, gently, it was tucked inside the optic pit. The snug fit of the amniotic membrane graft was confirmed on intraoperative OCT. And once the optic disc pit is completely filled up with the amniotic membrane graft, we did not have to do any additional laser or any additional PFCL injection or laser photocoagulation or gas injection in this case. So this was primarily only optic disc pit which was treated with amniotic membrane grafting. How useful this optic, the outcome, the impact of the intraoperative OCT is that it gives you a clear-cut idea as to how snugly this amniotic membrane graft is fitting into the pit. And post-operatively within 48 hours, we found that because of the snug fit of the graft, the fluid started to regress. Obviously, this is a pre-vitrectomized eye, so there is not much viscous fluid in this, but it continued to regress, and at 6 months follow-up and at 12 months also, the patient is doing extremely well with well-attached retina, and there's no sign of recurrence. Thank you.
It's an excellent video.
Thank you, ma'am.
I would like to know, you decided not to put any air or gas, right?
Yeah, because of the snug fit of the membrane into the optic pit, we were quite certain that this is going to work.
Okay. Okay. So you just, I mean, yeah, because you might otherwise worry that there is nothing to tamponate the area and keep it in place.
Any other experience with glue in these cases? Because there are reports or papers which have described use of fibrin glue in plugging
Yeah.
these.
So yes, you can use a fibrin glue, or you can even use the glue tissue fibrin glue, or you can even use the tissue glue for that matter, or a plasmin. That also can work in these cases.
Yeah, the reason I'm asking is that I have used it in one of my cases. It's worked till now, but then surprisingly, one of my colleagues also has used it, and she faced a recurrence after 6 months.
Yeah, I mean, this is
So
a very
then,
unpredictable.
is it possible that amniotic membrane may be a better option because it stays for a longer time as compared to glue?
I guess it's too early to say. If you see my 1 year follow-up picture, it doesn't show any remnant of the amniotic membrane graft there. So we don't know. These are very few cases that we come across in our clinical practice. So it's very difficult to say whether amniotic membrane is better than the fibrin glue or plasmin. But yes, all these techniques have worked. Even Dr. Parag Shah has showed us that even the scleral graft has worked wonders in his experience.
So Dr. Kelkar, would you then now primarily use amniotic membrane graft, or you still go with ILM flap anyway?
I will definitely do the ILM peeling, but I feel that there has to be something that would plug the optic pit, and amniotic membrane graft being very easily available. I would be tempted to use it in a primary surgery as well.
Because I have not had failure when I have been able to put the ILM flap inside, tucking it into the pit. So
Yes.
primarily, I'm wondering whether every case should go with amniotic membrane.
I also feel that in both the cases, primarily we have to, these are cases resort, steps resort for recurrent cases. Like the previous case, macular hole was there. A lot of macular holes closed with our ordinary treatment of ILM peeling and gas, even more than 1,000. So this sort of surgeries probably is excellent for a recurrence. That is, so I am also a conservative surgeon. Probably I am thinking like that.
What you're saying is right, sir. I agree with you.
So just a question or an addition. In the previous case, or Dr. Mandal's case, would one go for a dramatic thing like doing a retinal harvest, or would we try to treat that with an amniotic membrane also?
I frankly feel that the retinal tissue that you harvest over the macular hole or even amniotic membrane, it basically works as a scaffold. So I don't think it matters whether you use a retinal tissue or amniotic membrane. I would be tempted to use an amniotic membrane because basically
less destructive.
You don't have another hole in the retina.
Yeah.
In fact, one of our colleagues from LV Prasad, Dr. Samira Nayak, has worked extensively in using amniotic membrane grafts for recurrent or failed macular holes. She has an unpublished large data, but what she's also found is very promising results in these failed macular holes with amniotic membrane grafts.
Right.
Ale, what would you say? Dr. Mahesh, what would you say?
Well, for that matter, I think I'm also a conservative surgeon like Mahesh. Even in failed macular holes, I haven't done a single case yet of transplanting an ILM. I usually use the massage technique, where again with the Tanos or the loop, I tend to centrifugally massage the retina from all around the hole and try to loosen the entire retina, and then just do the conventional macular hole surgery. At the most, earlier I used to do a lot, and I published a paper also on using the autologous serum. So maybe I just add 1 or 2 drops of autologous serum onto it. But personally, even till today, I don't do an ILM transposition or even an inverted ILM or anything like that.
Yeah, autologous serum I also used. I have not used amniotic, but that seemed to work very well. It was a bad hole, very large one, and we got pretty good results with that.
Thank you so much, all our panelists and all our speakers. Shall we move on to the next case?
Yes, please.